This is another episode of Scandal in Your Life. My name is Scandal. Since you just let me into a little bit of your life, I'm going to let you into a little bit of mine. So today is another story about if you know she has a man, don't go to her house. Like, I say this is a warning to a lot of people. I've been lucky. Like, a lot of my situations could have been a lot worse. So I got out of it. And let this be a forewarning to a lot of you guys out there. We think with the wrong head a lot of times. We end up in situations that we don't need to be in. And if we use a little bit of common sense, we wouldn't be in. But this is the third time that I was in somebody's house knowing that they had a man that had access to in and out the house. And this one is even worse. I'm going to break it down to you. All right, so now I'm working with a girl. And she has a man. It's not my concern. And we were messing around from time to time. And then one day she's like, you know what? No, all right. She lives in a house with her man. Started out, she was a tenant. She was renting the basement apartment in a house from the landlords. The landlords had a son, which is about her age. Now, mind you, this guy, he lived in the house his entire life. You know, he grew up in that house. But they're renting a house to her, and sparks fly. And she and he become a thing. So at this time, they've been dating about 3.5 years. House he grew up in. I knew this. Okay. So now, she comes to the job one day and she's upset with him about whatever. And she's like, you know what? He and I, we broke up yesterday. F him. I'm not dealing with him no more. He's getting on my nerves. I don't want to go through any of this. And, I'm tired of him. You know what? Why don't you come through?
Oh, okay.
So she tells me to come through. And, me being the genius that I am, I'm like, all right, that sounds okay, sure, why not? I'll come through tomorrow. So, mind you, I know better. I know the story. It's not like I didn't know that he lived in a house upstairs while she went to the basement. Not like I didn't know he was raised in this house. I knew this, but still, somewhere in my head, it made sense for me to just be like, yeah, sure, I'll go over there. So I'll go over there and go downstairs. She's not trying to sneak me in, but granted, nobody's supposed to be home. But go downstairs and things are happening. Everything is all right. Yada, yada, yada. One thing leads to another. And at this point, she's completely undressed. And she's doing things. She's providing a service. Now, while this service is being provided, her room door just pushes open. It's a cheap lock. I'm assuming he knows this because he's been a million times. So this guy, he just pushes the door open and sees his woman of 3 years and change, providing a service to some random guy while she's buck-bone, newborn, baby naked. He looks at her. He looks at me. He's like, oh, that's real nice. He turns around, goes upstairs. She's not as flustered as I thought she should be because I'm like, look, it's time to go. I got to get dressed and go. She's like, nah, don't worry about him. Don't worry about him. He got no weapons in the house. He has a kitchen, right? You have a kitchen, you got knives. He grew up in this house. This is his house. You don't know what he has in here. I'm like, nah, I'm getting dressed. So then, he calls her on the phone. And he's like, you know what? You got to get your stuff and you got to go. Mind you, he's not the real landlord. But, he's the son. He's telling her she has to go, get your stuff, pack your stuff, and go. So I'm dressed. She's getting dressed. And she gets the suitcases together. And he's still on the phone with her. And he hangs up, he calls back and going back and forth. And she's like, well, we broke up. This was yesterday they broke up. I knew better. And so now I'm sitting there. I got a little bit of swollen summertime, so I had a tank top on. So now I go with her to the front of the house, and I'm sitting there carrying her suitcases because she got a couple of suitcases. She couldn't get everything, but she got a couple of things together. I'm holding her suitcases, trying to look extra swollen, intimidating them. Like, no, I'm not saying nothing to him, but I'm just letting you know my presence is there. So you might not want to cross that line. And he's like, oh, well, can I get my keys? Or she walks over, tosses him his keys. And get in a cab, go to her family's house. I go with her, take bags there. And that was it for that. You know, it was a very dangerous situation in my mind because it could have went a number of ways. Because even the softest guys, because she's telling me how soft this guy is, all females like to tell you how soft their man is, but they don't realize these soft guys will mess around and kill you. They'll kill somebody over their woman. They will kill you over their woman. So you guys out there, even if you are a straight gangster and you bust your thing and the hood knows you, a soft dude to kill you over a chick. Just keep that in mind. And a scared person to kill you. So keep that in mind at all times. We're going to fast forward about another 2-3 weeks. They're back together. Me, I couldn't have done it. Once you violate it like that, and the way, what to catch her doing to somebody else, nah, it's not going to work. But I say all this to say, be careful. If you know she has a man, don't go to her house. It's simple. It should be simple. It should be common knowledge. I've done this several times. And each time, in my mind, I realize how wrong it could go. I've been lucky. And I want you guys to be smarter than I was, all right? So once again, my name is Scandal. If you know she has a man, don't go to her house. Don't do it. Keep that in mind. Meet up someplace else. Meet up in a hotel. Meet up at your crib. If you can't go to your crib, automobiles or hotels on wheels. You got to make it happen the way you got to make it happen. Don't go to a house if you know she has a man, especially if a man lives in the house. The other situations, the guys were there on a regular basis. This one, the guy lived upstairs. I should have known better. I should have. You would think I would, right? I don't look slow, but, you know, thinking with the wrong head. Once again, my name is Scandal. Have a great day. Talk to you guys another time.